So for quarter number 3, module number 5, week 5, for LC number 2, applying fundamental theorems of proportionality to solve problems involving proportions. We'll start with yung fundamental rule of proportions. If A is to B as C is to D, then we can write this as a fraction form. By the way, again, this is a column form. So when we translate or convert this to fraction form, we have A over B as C is to D, such that B is not equal to 0 and D is not equal to 0. So yung mga values natin dito sa may denominator, hindi sila pwede maging equal sa 0. So for this lesson, we will talk about yung properties of proportions. Ano yung mga properties of proportions na magagamit natin to solve yung mga worded problem natin. So we will start with property number 1. So for property number 1, property number 1 is about cross multiplication. For terms A, B, C, and D, the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. So by the way, cross multiplication, ginagamit natin siyang solution if we want to prove kung yung dalawang ratio ay proportional dun sa may LC number 1 natin. So when we say product of the means, so yung means natin, yung first at saka yung second at saka yung third term, B and C, and then yung extremes natin, yung A and D. So what we're going to do is, if we multiply yung value ng B and C, tapos yung value ng A and D, pag pinag-multiply natin yan, yung product nila should be equal. So yung product ng B and C, tapos yung product ng A and D, dapat equal sila. So yung property number 1. So let's say, 1 over 2, tapos 3, tsaka 6. So pag pinag-multiply mo yung means, which is yung 2 and 3, 2 times 3, that's 6. And then yung extremes, 1 times 6 is also 6. So makikita natin na proportional sila. Proportional yung dalawang ratio, since nag-yield sila ng parehas na product. So mamaya after natin i-discuss yung mga properties, magkakaroon tayo ng mga example by bawat properties. For property number 2, we have alternation, or in other words, pagpapalit. For terms A, B, C, and D, if the second and third terms interchange o pinagpalit their places, the 4 terms are still in proportion. So, for instance, we have A over B as C over D. So ito yung first term natin, ito yung second term, ito yung third term, ito yung fourth term. So ang sabi niya sa property number 2, which is alternation, if we will interchange yung position ng C and B, and then titignan natin ano yung magiging resulta, yung proportion, yung ratio natin would still be proportion o proportional. Halimbawa, yung example natin kanina. If these ratios are proportion, pwede kong pagpalitin yung position ng second at third term. Pwede kong pagpalitin. So yung 2 ilalagay ko sa taas, yung 3 ilalagay ko sa ilalim. So magiging 3, tapos 2, and then 6. So kung makikita ninyo, dito sa may example natin, yung 3 tsaka 2 pinagpalit ko ng lugar. Yung 3 nilagay ko sa denominator sa may first group o sa may right side, and then yung denominator dito sa may left side, dinala ko dun sa may numerator sa may right side. So nagpalit sila ng position. Now if you would notice, kapag sinimplify mo yung 2 over 6, that will give you 1/3. So this is still equal, this is still proportional. So ang tanong, pwede ko bang gawin yun sa may first tsaka last term? So pwede din. So pag pinagpalit mo yung 6 at saka yung 1, pag pinagpalit mo sila ng position, proportional pa din yung lilitaw na answer nun. Provided yung values ng D D at saka C, hindi sila equal to 0. Kung 0 sila, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung property na yan. Dapat meron silang value greater than o other than 0. Next, property number 3. So for property number 3, we have inverse. For terms A, B, C, and D, if two ratios are equal, then their inverse ratios are also equal. So pag sinabi natin inverse, pag binaliktad. So halimbawa, if A over B is equal to C over D, pag pinagbaliktad ko yan, yung mga numerator, nilagay ko dun sa denominator, and then yung denominator, nilagay ko sa numerator, they would still be equal. Yung ratios nila would still be equal. Halimbawa, again, let's use 2 over 4. So we all know this is 1/2. And then 3 over 6 is still 1/2. So kung yung 2 and 3 ilalagay ko sa ilalim, tapos yung 4 and 6 ilalagay ko sa taas, we'll get 4 over 2 is equal to 6 over 3. So pag sinimplify mo yung ratio na yan, pag kinuha mo yung lowest term, this will give you 4 divided by 2, that will give you 2. 6 divided by 3, that will also give you 2. So kung equal yung dalawang ratios natin, kahit yung numerator lagay mo sa denominator, tapos yung mga nasa denominator lagay mo sa numerator, yung ratios nila equal pa din. O yung dalawang ratio natin equal pa din. Kahit pagpalitin mo silang dalawa. So yun yung sinasabi na sa inverse. Pag pinagbaliktad mo yung mga numbers, equal pa din sila. Okay, for property number 4, which is addition, for terms A, B, C, and D. So if A and B, A over B is equal to C over D, then A plus B over B is equal to C plus D over D, provided yung B and D cannot be equal to 0. So sinasabi niya sa property number 4, which is addition, obviously, we have addition sign. Kapag dito sa may first ratio, nag-add ka ng value na equal dun sa may denominator natin dito sa may numerator, and then dito sa may second term o sa may second ratio, nag-add ka ng value ng denominator dito sa may numerator, yung ratio nila will still be equal. Kung ano yung number dito sa may ilalim, in-add mo dun sa mga numerators natin dito sa may taas, yung ratio nila equal pa din. Halimbawa, let's say 1 over 2 is equal to 3 over 6. So we all know this is equal yung 1/2 at saka yung 3 over 6. These two ratios are proportional or equal. So ang gagawin ko dito sa may first ratio, mag-add ako ng 2 dito. Dito sa may second ratio, mag-add ako ng 6. So we have 1 plus 2 over 2 is equal to 3 plus 6 over 6. Na kung titignan nyo natin dito, dito sa may second part natin, nag-add ako ng 2 dito sa may numerator natin. Tapos dito nag-add din ako ng 6 sa may numerator natin. Kung ano yung denominator mo, yun ang i-add dito sa taas. Now if we will simplify, we'll get 1 plus 2, this is 3 over 2. And then 3 plus 6, that is 9 over 6. Now, kung titignan natin, yung 3 over 2 is equal to 9 over 6 is still correct. Kasi pag kinuha mo yung lowest term ng 9 over 6, nilitaw yung 3 over 2. So these two are still proportional, or these two are still equal. So dito sa may property number 4 for addition, kung ano yung denominator mo, tapos in-add mo doon sa numerator, yung magiging resulta is proportional pa din, or equal. Okay, next property will be property number 5, which is subtraction. Well, this is the same with addition, same yung concept. But this time, instead of addition symbol yung ginagamit, ang gagamitin natin for this property is subtraction. So for this, we have for A, B, C, and D. If A over B is equal to C over D, then A minus B over B is equal to C minus D over D. Again, yung mga denominators natin, isusubtract natin doon sa mga numerators natin, and then they would still be proportional or they would still be equal. So, same idea doon sa may addition. Halimbawa, we have 1/2 is equal to 3 over 6. So, yung 3 over 6, alam na natin na 1/2 din yan. So, ang gagawin ko is isusubtract ko yung mga denominator dito sa numerator. So, we have 1 minus 2 over 2, and then 3 minus 6 over 6. So, when I simplify, 1 minus 2, we have negative 1 over 2. Yung rules for integers would still be applied. So, 1 minus 2, we have negative 1 over 2. 3 minus 6, we have negative 3 over 6. So again, kung titignan mo ngayon, this would still be equal. Parehas na negative, parehas na magiging 1/2. So yung negative 3 over 6, pag kinuha mo yung lowest term, that will give you negative 1 over 2. O negative 1/2. So these two are still equal. So same concept din sa may addition, but this time, nagsusubtract ka na lang instead na nag-add. So sa property number 4, which is addition, nag-add ka ng denominator sa may numerator. For property number 5, nagsusubtract ka ng denominator dun sa numerator. Provided B and D are not equal to 0. Yung B and D hindi sila pwedeng 0. Now for property number 6, which is sum, for terms A, B, C, D, E, and F, if A over B is equal to C over D, and it is equal to E over F, ibig sabihin, yung tatlong ratios natin na yan, equal lang sila in value, then A over B is equal to C over D is equal to E over F is equal to A plus C plus E over D plus D plus F is equal to K, wherein K is yung constant of proportionality. Ibig sabihin yan, if we will try to add all proportions natin, tapos kinuha natin yung lowest term, lalo nilitaw yung tinatawag nilang K, which is constant of proportionality. So, just a recap, yung property number 1, which is cross multiplication, pag cross multiply natin yung means at saka yung extremes, we will have a equal product, equal yung product ng means at saka extremes. And then property number 2, which is yung alternation, yung B and C pwede mong pagpalitin ng position. And then we have inverse, yung AC at saka yung BD pwede kong pagpalitin ng lugar. It means yung AC pwede ko ilagay sa baba, and then yung BD pwede ko ilagay sa taas, and they will still be equal. And then number 4, tinatawag natin addition. If mag-add ako ng B dito sa may numerator sa may first ratio natin, and then mag-add ako ng D dito sa may numerator sa may second ratio natin, they will still be equal. Same with property number 5. Sa property number 5, instead of addition, magsusubtract ka naman. So A minus B is equal to C minus D over D. And then property number 6 is yung sum. Yung property number 6, it pertains to yung constant of proportionality, wherein if you would add 3 ratios, it will be equal to yung K, which is yung constant of proportionality. So after this, we will be having a illustrative example for each property para mas maliwanagan kayo paano sila ginagamit. So for the illustrative example, let's try to answer number 1 and number 2. For number 1, find the value of x if x over 12 is equal to 3 over 4. So gagamitin natin yung first property, which is yung cross multiplication. So what I will do is, I will cross multiply 4 do sa x and then 12 do sa 3. So 4 times x will be 4 times x, and then 12 times 3 will give you 12 times 3. And then you simplify 4 times x, that is 4x. 12 times 3, that is 26. And then you will divide both sides by 4 para ma-cancel out yung 4 na kasama ng x. Kasi eventually, ang gusto lang nating value is yung x lang. So we will divide both sides by 4. So this will be cancelled. So x 36 divided by 4, that is 9. So yung value ng x natin is equal to 9. So ito, pagpapalitan ko ng 9, it is equal to 3/4. Next, solve for y in 1:3 as y minus 7 is to 75. So ang gagawin natin, i-convert o translate muna natin siya o transform muna natin siya into fraction form, from column form to fraction form. So yung 1/3, 1:3 pwede 1/3 is equal to y minus 7 is to 75, pwede y minus 7 over 75. So yung column form, convert o transform ko muna into fraction form. And then we will use yung property number 1 to solve for y, yung cross multiply. So 75 times 1 is equal to 3 times y minus 7. So 75 times 1, that is 75. Then distribution method, 3 times y, that is 3y. 3 times negative 7, that is negative 21. Next. So, susunod na gagawin natin is, dito sa may module nakalagay yung APE, which means addition property of equality, wherein mag-add ka ng 21 on both sides para ma-cancel yung negative 21 doon sa kabila. So, pwedeng 75 plus 21. Yan. Addition property of equality, mag-add ka ng 21 on both sides. Kung anong ginawa mo sa left, gagawin mo din sa right. So, pag ginawa mo yun, magiging 0 na lang yan. Negative 21 plus 21 will be 0. So, mawawala yung part na yan. And dito sa kabila, 75 plus 21, that will give you 96 is equal to 3y. So, wala na yung negative 21 o yung minus 21 dito sa may right side. Kasi 0 na, kasi nag-add ka ng 21 on both sides. Next. So, para mawala naman yung kasama ng y, which is yung 3, magde-divide tayo both sides by 3. So, maka-cancel. And then, yung y natin will be 96 divided by 3, that will be 30. So, dito sa may module natin, yung y nandun sa kabila, yung 32 nandun sa may right side. So, that is still the same. Pwede mo din isulat as. Pero paras lang sila. Or, lagyan natin or. Or, 32 is equal to y, or y is equal to 32. Now, dito sa may part na to, para mas kaunti yung solution, o mas maiksi, pwede rin yung transposition method, yung negative 21, i-transpose mo sa kabila, so magiging 75. So pag nag-transpose ka ng term from right side to left side of the equation, from one side of the equation to the other, sa kabila. Yan. Sa side na to, nilipat mo sa kabila, magiging positive. So yung sign niya from negative, magiging positive. Kung positive yan, nilipat mo dito sa kabilang side, magiging negative. Kung positive, magiging negative. Kung negative, magiging positive. So we have positive 21. And then 75 plus 21 will have 96 is equal to 3y. And then, divide both sides by 3. So, makakancel ko din. So, I suggest yung transposition method kasi mas kaunti yung sinusulat, mas kaunti yung nakikita, mas simple tignan. It will yield the same answer para naman. Next example for our illustrated examples for number 3, we have if x is to 5 as y is to 4, find the ratio of x over y. So, ang gusto natin mangyari dito is ano yung value ng x over y. So, ang gagawin natin is ita-transform muna natin yung column form into a fraction form. So, we have x is to 5 as y is to 4. Pwede natin siyang isulat ng x over 5 is equal to y over 4. Next. So, ang susunod na gagawin natin dyan is gagamitin natin yung property number 2, which is alternation. So, ang gagawin ko, yung 5 at saka y, pagpapalitin ko ng lugar, which is yung property number 2. So, x is equal to, yung y mapupunta dito sa position ng 5, yung 5 mapupunta sa position ng y. So, y is equal to 5 over 4. Now, makikita na natin yung ratio ng x over y. So, this is x over y, which is equal to 5 over 4. So, x over y is equal to 5 over 4. So, ito yung ratio ng x over y natin. So, for number 4, so yung property na ginamit ko dito is property number 2. So, sa example number 1 and 2, ang ginamit doon is property number 1. For number 3, ang ginamit is property number 2. Wherein, gagamitin mo yung alternation. Pagpapalitin mo yung position ng dalawang means natin. O ng means natin. For number 4, if 2a minus 3b is equal to 0, find yung ratio ng ab. So parang ganito din yung hinahanap niya. Wherein hinahanap niya yung ratio ng, dito sa number 3 ang hinahanap is ratio ng xy. Dito sa number 4 ang hinahanap is yung ratio ng ab. So dito susubukan natin gamitin yung property number 4, property number 3, which is yung inverse. So let's try to solve this first. So we have 2a minus 3b is equal to 0. So ang gagawin ko, transpose ko muna yung negative 3b sa kabila. So we have, and then 3b. Now, gagamitin natin yung property number 1. So dito, yung negative 3b na transpose ko sa kabila, magiging positive 3b na. Now, gagamitin ko yung property number 1, but this time, patras. Ang ginagawa kasi natin doon, nag-cross multiply tayo. Dito tatanggalin natin yung pagkaka-cross multiply nila. So dito, kung gagamitin mo yung property number 1 tapos nag-cross multiply ka, nilitaw yung 2a and yung 3b. So ang gagawin ko, i-break ko muna. Parang ipa-factor muna. So magiging so, dito, yung 3, ilalagay ko dito sa ilalim. Ilalagay ko dito sa ilalim. So, kung gagamitin ko yung property number 1 dito, ipo-cross multiply ko. So, a times 2, you have 2a. 3 times b, you have 3b. Tama? So, kumbaga, pinactor ko muna. So, ganito yung itsura niya before yung property number 1. So, 3 times b, you have 3b. a times 2, you have 2a. So, babalik ka dito. So, this is still correct. Now, gagamitin ko yung property number 3, which is inverse. So, gagawin ko, yung nasa may denominator, ilalagay ko sa numerator. Yung nasa numerator, ilalagay ko sa denominator. Kasi BA pa yung ratio natin dito. Ang kailangan natin, AB. So, pagpapalitin natin sila. So, magiging yung 3 mapupunta sa taas, yung 2 mapupunta sa ilalim, yung A mapupunta sa taas, yung B mapupunta sa ilalim. Now, we have ratio ng AB. AB is equal to 3 over 2. Or vice versa. AB is equal to 3 over 2. Pwede din ganyan. Kung mapapansin niyo din sa may solution sa may module, medyo iba kumpara dito. Pero ito yung best way para mapakita na ginamit natin yung property number 3, which is yung inverse. Next, illustrative example number 5. If a is to y is equal to 5 is to a, then solve for x plus y is to y. So para mas makita natin ano yung itsura nitong mga to, i-transform muna natin sila into fraction form. So ito muna yung proportion natin na to. So this is x over y is equal to 5 over 8. And then this is equal to x plus y over y. So ang sabi sa property number 2, which is yung addition, kapag nag-add tayo, pag i-add natin yung denominator dito sa numerator, equal pa din sila. So ang gagawin ko, i-add ko itong mga denominator natin dito sa may numerator natin. So gusto kong gawin yun para maging ganito yung first ratio natin. Meron siyang plus y na sa taas. So magiging x plus y over y. And then 5 plus 8 over 8. So copy yung sa my left side. And then simplify yung nasa right. 5 plus 8, that is 13 over 8. Now makikita natin yung equivalent ratio for x plus y is 13 over 8. So x plus y over y is equal to 13 over 8. Next is yung number 6. Suppose we have array proportion which is a is to b is equal to 20 is to 3. What is the equivalent ratio to 17 is to 3? So ang gagamitin naman natin dito is yung property number 5, which is subtraction. So same procedure as number 5, pero instead na addition, ang gagamitin natin is subtraction. So again, ang una natin gagawin is ita-transform muna natin yung proportion natin into fraction, and then yung 17 is to 3, gagawin din natin siyang fraction form. So this one, gagawin muna natin siyang fraction form. So this is a over b is equal to 20 over 3. Next, this one gagawin natin 17 over 3. Now, ang gusto natin mangyari is makuha yung 17 over 3. So, ang gagawin ko, same with this, only subtraction. Gagawin natin yung property number 5. Isusubtract yung denominator sa may numerator. So, magiging a minus b over b, 20 minus 3 over 3. And then, you simplify. Kakopy natin yung nasa left side. And then 20 minus 3, which is 17 over 3. So yung equivalent ratio ng 17 over 3, 17 over 3 is a minus b over b. So ganyan siya lilitaw for number 6. Using property number 5. So dito, sa isang ginamit natin is addition. This is property number 4. Dito ang ginamit natin is subtraction. This is property number 5. So let's have additional examples. For this example, we have 7 is to 3 is equal to x, o 7 is to 3 as x is to 6. So hinahanap natin ang value ng x. So first thing na gagawin natin is i-transform muna natin sila from column form to fraction form. So 7 is to 3 magiging 7 over 3. X is to 6 magiging x over 6. So ang gagawin ko, mag-cross multiply lang muna ako. So 6 times 7 and then 3 times x. So 6 times 7 tapos 3 times x. So 6 times 7 is 42 tapos 3 times x, that is 3x. And then you will divide both sides by 3. Kung ano yung kasama ng x, yun ang gagamitin mong divisor. So 3. So cancel. So yung magiging final answer mo ngayon will be 42 divided by 3, that will give you 14. So x natin will be 14. Now, may instances na kuminsan nandito yung x, kuminsan nandito yung x, kuminsan nandito yung x. Same procedure lang. Mag-cross multiply ka, and then kung ano yung kasama ng x, yun ang gagamitin mong divisor. So, halimbawa, isa pa. Let's say this is 14, tapos ito yung x. So, alam na natin na 6 yung magiging answer dyan. Pero tignan natin yung solution kapag nandito naman yung x. So again, ita-transform natin from column form to fraction form. So magiging 7 over 3 as 14 over x. So ang gagawin natin, cross-multiply natin, 3 times 14, 7 times x. So this is 7 times x, 7 times x, 3 times 14. So 7 times x, 7x, and then what is 3 times 14? 3 times 14, that is 42. Tama? 42. And then, di-divide natin both sides by kung anong kasama number ng x, which is 7. So 7, 7. So cancel. X is equal to 42 divided by 7, which is 6. Ganyan. So this time, nandito naman yung x natin. So yung procedure pa ulit-ulit lang, nagko-cross-multiply ka lang kung meron bang isang unknown. Now, another example. Now, next example. So makikita natin dito, so may variable natin, meron na siyang minus 1. Before, y lang yan. This time, meron na siyang additional na constant, which is minus 1. So same procedure, from column form, ita-transform natin sa fraction form. So this will become 7 over 3, and then this will become y minus 1 over 6. Same solution, i-cross-multiply natin. So 6 times 7, that is 42. O, pakita mo na natin paano siya naging 42. So 7 times 6, and then 3 times y minus 1. So 3 times y minus 1. So yung nasa denominator, multiply sa numerator. Yung nasa denominator, multiply sa numerator. So we have 7 times 6 and then 3 times y minus 1. So this is 7 times 6 is 42. And then distribution method, 3 times y. 3 times y, that is 3y. 3 times negative 1, this is negative 3. Next. So now you have 42 is equal to 3y minus 3. So next na gagawin natin dyan is ito-transpose natin yung constant term sa kabila, which is yung negative 3. Kasi eventually, ang gusto lang natin yung y. So kailangan lahat ng numbers na kasama ng y malipat dun sa kabila. Or pwede din makancel. So yung mga constant, pwede mo na i-transpose. So magiging 42 from negative 3, pag nilipat sa kabila, magiging positive 3, and then 3y. Next, 42 plus 3, that is 45 is equal to 3y. Next, paano makakancel yung kasama ng y? So para makancel natin yung 3, magdi-divide tayo both sides by 3. Cancel y. 45 divided by 3, that is 15. So yung y natin, pwede natin palitan ng 15. So 15 minus 1, that is 14. So pag naging 14 na to, tama na yung ratio natin. So yung y natin is equal to 15. So ganun yung solution kapag meron ka na nakitang constant term na kasama ng variable pag ganito na itsura. So umpisa kasi y lang yan. Pero ngayon, meron na siyang kasamang number. So, ganito yung solution na gagawin. Paulit-ulit na yung solution na yun. Ganyan ang parati ka na nag-cross multiply. Tapos, ito yung part na medyo bago, which is nagdi-distribute ka.